Hi, and welcome to my midterm yoga practices to use and my daily practice for wellness. So, I thought I would start out with some basic vocabulary, and these are not like the dictionary definitions of the word, but what I have kind of incorporated for myself. So, the word yoga is really a spiritual practice that includes physical postures, breathing techniques, and meditation to quiet the senses and separate the self from the noise around it. Um, then pranayama is from, which I learned was kind of neat, from two different Sanskrit words, pran being life and ayama meaning way. And so it's like breathing life into the body using different breathing exercises. Um, Asana, these are poses meant to improve flexibility and strength, but also used for grounding the physical body to really be in tune with our physicality. Meditation is quieting the mind to focus and center one's mind on something specific for prayer and to practice mindfulness. So I figured I would go through how I have incorporated these different aspects into my daily and personal practice. So the two that really got to me with the ethics of yoga, um, like that, looking at the ethical practice of yoga, which I didn't even know really was a thing until picking up the Yamas and Nayama's book. It has been a driving force in my personal practice. So focusing on the first half of the book, obviously the Yamas, these last few weeks has been eye-opening, that this is really where like peace comes from in yoga practice. And so the two that stood out to me the most impactful were truthfulness and non-possessiveness. And with truthfulness, I realized that I wasn't being truthful with myself, which I alluded to during one of the discussions. But what I realized after that is that this also it really combed over into my daily life. Instead of being the real authentic me, I was still catering to others. And then the quote from Adele asks on page 45, it says, real asks us to live from a place where there's nothing to defend and nothing to manage. And I thought I've been really meditating on that because the truth is like letting go and letting yourself be and not needing to defend or manage what you're capable of or who you are. It's really very freeing. And non-possessiveness, part of my meditation with this is not really thinking, but clearing my mind and letting things in, acknowledging them, and then just doing a self-check. Is this thing, this item, this person, this thought, this goal, is it owning me? Do I need to let it go? And just learning to enjoy the things that are in front of me in life without really needing them. If they're there, great. If they aren't, it doesn't need to be, there doesn't need to be a sense of loss if it's not there. And so the pranayamas, I really enjoy the breathing exercises. They're a lot of fun. So the two that I really love, so the 3-part breath is, obviously we did this in class, so inhaling through your belly to the rib cage and through the chest and completely filling up your torso. I added this into my daily practice about a week ago, 5 or 6 breaths or 60 seconds in the morning, and then doing the same thing at night. What I'm doing during this is I'm really focusing on just letting the breathing and how my body feels, emptying my mind and feeling the capability of my diaphragm and my lungs. The benefits of this for me, especially at the end of the night, is that it helps me clear my head and focus on my physical reality. My lungs feel better and stronger. Like my lung capacity is already growing, which is really nice. I'm a previous smoker, so I'm still dealing with a lot of that. It's been about a year now, but it's still, this is, I think, really helped with that. And the other one is the breath of fire, which is one we don't do in class or haven't done in class yet, but I learned from a website that I'll share with you guys later. But excuse me. So it's like passive inhaling. So you just in. You're not really focusing on the in, but the exhale is really active. And so you're breathing into your belly and you're pushing out quickly. It's very rhythmic and very fast. So it's like really kind of fun. But when I do that, what I'm doing is I'm really focusing on getting the breath into my belly first, because I have a hard time with chest breathing, and forcing it out every second or so. So, like I said, it's a very, very quick breath. The biggest benefit I've noticed is that I feel like it helps me refocus on whatever I'm working on. If I'm working on schoolwork, or if I'm working on an event at work, or staring at a computer screen all day and I start getting drowsy, it's like giving me a shot of espresso, and helps me center and focus back on the task that I have at hand. So super fun. All right. And asanas. So I have been kind of doing a lot of different and new things with this. And this website, Find What Feels Good, or fwfg.com, is where I'm learning a lot from. It's super fun. And so I've been trying to at least get in 15-20 minutes a day, just to expand what I'm doing. I have been doing probably 3 to 4 days a week. But I really love their content. They're very fun, very easy. And this is where I learned the dragon's breath, or the breath of fire. So super fun. You should check it out. And the corpse pose, or the final resting pose, is probably my favorite. And I think it's just because after everything is all said and done, it's just relaxing, and you can lay there as long as you want, and just really acknowledging your muscles and letting that just kind of flow through you and kind of melting into the floor. It's just one of my favorites. And so meditation, which I have not really done a whole lot of meditation before. I do a lot of breathing exercises, and I do a lot of praying. And so something that I have integrated in, especially the last few weeks, because I've dealt with a lot of loss, is doing a feelings check a couple times a day, just a couple minutes, 3-4 minutes. I usually set a timer for 5, so I'm done within 5. And just checking out and letting whatever I'm feeling just come into my mind, acknowledging that it's there, letting it go, and being okay with wherever I'm at. The other thing that I'm doing is I'm using meditation in my prayer time. So I used to write during my prayer time to help keep me focused. And so I've turned that into part of my meditation, is praying for whoever comes to mind, instead of being focused on my list of prayer people to pray for, or things to pray for. So it's been super, super helpful, and I really love it. I feel like it's given me a depth to my prayer time that I didn't have before. So I wanted to add a couple of my favorite quotes and meditation thoughts that I have had since class started. One of them is in one of our books, and it says we need to learn to enjoy doing things, or doing something we dislike, or to enjoy not doing something we like, when it is in the long-term best interest of others or ourselves. Everywhere you can learn to say, no, this doesn't help anybody, so I won't do it, or yes, this is beneficial, so I will do it, with enthusiasm. And I love that, because the with enthusiasm part is what really gets me. We're going to do it, or we're not going to do it, but if we're going to do it, we're going to do it with enthusiasm. And the next one is, the compassion of nonviolence keeps truthfulness from being a personal weapon. It asks us to think twice before we walk around mowing people down with our truth and then wonder where everyone went. I think that truthfulness can obviously be used as a weapon for people, and so learning how to walk in that in compassion. And my last one for Gandhi, from Gandhi, is, I have too much to do today, so I must meditate for 2 hours instead of 1. It just reminds us that when we have a lot to do, we need to slow down. We need to make sure that we're focusing on what's the important stuff, instead of just the things that we need to check off the list. So thank you very much.